r/AskReddit by Redmond ETS. People who have been arrested, what did you get arrested for? In 1965 as a 13-year-old juvenile for auto theft stealing a 1961 Chevrolet Impala. I ran out of gas. Got probation and community service, painted park benches and fire hydrants. Interesting. In 2003 I was 17, and I drank one beer and got caught, and I had to hang out with deputies and 100 convicts for 2 weeks. How times have changed. Possession of marijuana and possession of marijuana paraphernalia. Why did I read this in Hank Hill's voice? Stripping in a club without a license. Nobody told me I needed one. I fired a .22 at a guy's feet who was stalking my teenage daughter and showed up on my property after I told him to leave. He kept walking and wouldn't listen. This guy was unhinged. She was terrified of him and honestly I wasn't sure what he was going to do. Didn't hit him, it hit ground nearly 10 feet away from him. He went home and told his mom and they called the cops. I was released 3 hours later with no charges and they gave me my rifle back. My roommate worked for the courts and put out a warrant for my arrest for a registration ticket. I was 16. My ex cheated on me with a 20-year-old. She was 15. I ran into them at the bus stop. It was the last bus home from a nearby town to my town. Guy tried to pick a fight with me. I stood up for myself. Bus showed up and he ran onto the bus telling the bus driver not to let me on cause I started it. I tried to explain to the bus driver but he wouldn't listen to me. The bus had a sticker on it showing the McGruff house, meaning it's supposed to be a safe place for minors. I lost my shit and broke the bus window with my fist trying to get to the 20-year-old. Very stupid. I sat there and waited for the police. They handcuffed me and put me in the back, but were super respectful about it. I talked with them and explained the situation, named the other guy. They laughed and uncuffed me when they realized I wasn't a threat and drove me to the next town over to take me home. I called the bus depot the next day and explained the situation, offering to clean buses for free as payment for the window. They said they would question the bus driver and get back to me. They never got back to me. I never saw him drive buses again. There's only 2 bus routes between the 2 towns. 15 and 20? Dude's lucky that didn't turn into jail time. Yeah, her parents didn't give a crap. Big guy slapped his small girlfriend and called her a bitch. I, as a larger male, slapped him repeatedly and asked if he was my bitch now. She told the police officers I slapped the guy for no reason. I was just way too drunk. My friend's friend kicked the shit out of me and I was the one that got arrested. Worst night of my life. Underage drinking when I was 17. My dad's reaction was worse than the police. I was arrested and taken to the station for a statement because my drunk mate robbed my car for 2 minutes and got pulled. I later had to plead guilty in court for leaving my keys in the ignition to avoid a trial because he refused to accept responsibility for his actions. I'm confused. Your drunk friend stole your car, so you got arrested. It's a crime in most places to allow others the opportunity for vehicle crimes. That's why it's illegal to leave your car running while you aren't in it, to warm up in winter or something like that, because someone could come around and steal it and use it for more crimes. Assault and battery. Prosecutor motioned for 2 years, got 2 months. Murder. Originally arrested on capital murder, dropped to 1st degree prior to trial, found guilty of 2nd degree murder. Did 28 years in prison, released 10 years ago. Killed him because he was drugging and raping 14-15-year-old girls. No, I don't regret any of it. First time was for fighting in my teens. Second time I threw myself in front of a car and got charged with criminal damage. Third time was during a complete mental breakdown where I trashed a hospital. I wasn't charged with anything but spent a few weeks in a psychiatric ward. Arson. Before the time of mobile phones. At 3 AM. I just happened to be near the 2 people who committed the arson. And the eyewitnesses who called the cops even told the cops, not that guy, he did nothing, he even told them to not do it. but they arrested me anyway. Luckily, the others were arrested too, and they told the cops the same that the witnesses did. So I got an apology and was let out the next morning. I had to walk 1 hour, in the rain, to a petrol station, call my parents, who were mad at me and didn't listen, so they did not pick me up. I had to walk home for 2 more hours, in the rain. Things I learned. Long sleeves are super nice to have in one of those drunk people cells. They leave the lights on so the sleeves can serve as a sleep mask while you use the rest of the jacket as a pillow. They don't let you keep your shoes on, and the cell is relatively cold. Cold feet are very annoying, so it's also nice if you have thick socks. I did have thick socks. The bench is not deep enough to lay down on with both arms to your sides. One arm will fall down constantly. Cross your arms over your chest and put your hands on the opposing shoulder. They install buttons to call if you need something. They'll let you out for a bathroom break, and the lady who answered even brought me hot coffee in the morning. Processing is slow on a weekday. They had to interview all of us and some DA had to make a decision. I learned that next time I have the right to call a lawyer, and if you pay enough, one will come get you. In hindsight, it was a unique experience that's a nice subject to talk about or surprise people with, because I don't seem like the type who would spend any time in any jail cell. When I was 16, friends and I trespassed an abandoned psych ward. They all ran and got away. I like an idiot wore flip-flops and as I was running got caught lol. They got the wrong guy. I laughed it up because there was no brute force used and clearly it was a mistake. Description said Asian guy in shorts with a white tank top. There were 4 different Asian guys here that matched the description, but they arrested me because I was the largest of the 4. The officer said it was a mistake and he was sorry, and it was a backyard barbecue at my cousin's house. Even after this happened, I hold no ill will towards police officers. My neighbor called the cops on me for living in the United States illegally. The funny part was they tried to charge me for having an illegal weapon, which was a tattoo gun. It got thrown out, but I still got 10 years, but only served 3 years and was deported. Also, I came back to the United States the following month. I was released. Got my citizenship over a decade ago. Also, I'm a petty person. I bought my parents' house I grew up in a few years ago, and my neighbor is still pissed off that I'm back, and he can't do anything about it. DUI. It sucks. Don't drink and drive. Domestic violence when my ex wouldn't let me leave, and I accidentally knocked her over trying to break from her hands. I stupidly told the cops this and I spent a nice cold night in jail. Never talked to the cops. Blackout drunk. 3-piece suit. Kept ringing someone's doorbell at 6 AM. A way too sweet lady opened the door, and I explained that my friend lived there. She answered that my friend didn't live there. I kept ringing. Her way too sweet husband came down and told me to go home, son. I wouldn't. After a few back and forths, they told me they would call the police if I didn't leave. I didn't. Charge. Public intoxication. Went back to the house with flowers. They told me I'm a lot more handsome sober. Furnishing alcohol to minors. I had been 21 for a month and a half and there were 20-year-olds drinking at my house. Spent 4 days in county, then did 6 months of probation with 12 hours community service. The main reason I got arrested was because I was throwing parties every day and my neighbors were pissed, and the police were pissed about getting the calls. Really, I deserved it. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.